Coming up on the program, we'll take a look at how one organization is helping producers that were impacted by a natural disaster and get some advice on sulfur application. But first, we'll take you out to the Sandhills of Nebraska for a closer look at last week's Goodmanson Sandhills Laboratory Open House. Last week, our team hit the road and made our way out to the Sandhills in order to cover the event. Over the course of this trip, we were fortunate enough to get some insights into some of the most pressing issues that cattle producers are facing. The in-person and online event took place last Wednesday, August 24th, and featured several topics, including post-fire grazing, eastern red cedar control methods, and environmental footprints of cattle production. But the day began with a cattle market update from our friend and colleague. You've seen him here on Market Journal. That's Elliott Dennis.
Yeah, the primary message was that we do have shrinking supplies. There's pretty robust export demand and pretty stable, surprisingly stable domestic beef consumption. And so when we're talking about, potential impacts for prices, it's the favorability is actually really strong going into the end of the fall, that we could have strong prices. I put up some data to compare where the video auctions were really pricing the market at compared to what the futures were pricing at. And really we say that the video is actually pricing it a little bit more aggressive, that prices could be a little bit higher than what we're seeing on the board right now by about $10. There were about videos pricing in at about $197 for the October contract, and the futures board plus basis is probably at the $187 range. Challenges that we need to work through, and if we can get to 20.
While Elliott had a lot of material to cover at the event, we were curious to get his take on marketing strategies and risk management advice as we head into the fall season.
Right now, I would say that the market is probably stable to upward, and so staying in the cash markets is actually probably the best marketing strategy. Well, generally, what we're looking for in the fall, at least what I'm looking for, is really going to start looking at placement numbers, see if those drop off, and more importantly, that corn price. That's going to really impact the feedlot's willingness to pay for cattle as they come to market. And ultimately, we talk about some of that drought condition that potentially continue to shape up over this fall, and higher hay prices. So those are really the things that I'm watching for. If that is combined with consumer demand starts to weaken a little bit, I think there's opportunities to put in like a floor using a traditional CME put option, or even sometimes the more affordable livestock risk protection. Just as a reminder, the livestock risk protection is only available a minimum of 13 weeks out. And whereas the put options can be used more on the short-term basis. So I think we're safe to stay in the cash market right now, but make sure that we continue to watch the markets and adjust accordingly.
We'll have more from this event on the weeks ahead. However, if you'd like to review the recorded versions of those presentations featured at the event, they are currently available online. We've taken the liberty to posting a link to those videos along with this story on the Market Journal website.